Of which somehow brings us to three-time Super Bowl champion Darren Woodson.
If they only knew what was going on by the time from one spot to the other, how professional that is.
Thank you.
Better than the Gandhi. Better than the Gandhi, I can tell you that.
Oh, really? Oh, my God. What he's talking about is I started off over there with Kevin, and then while all that was going on, I navigated the rest of the studio and the wires and all of that.
Job.
So, you know what? I'll take it from you.
Game
Some
7.
good moves here. Game 7. We are getting ready. And you might wonder why we have Darren Woodson here talking about the Miami Heat. Besides what we just talked about, you played with a tremendous big three for 8 seasons in Dallas. So you had Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin, of course, on the other side of the ball as you were anchoring that Super Bowl winning defense. They were getting it done together on offense. What were your impressions of the way that the three of them managed to approach these huge games like the one that's coming in Miami tonight?
Because of those big three, not only understanding what they needed to do, but also trickling down to role players, some of the role players like myself on the defensive side of the ball, watching how they prepared and how they were so focused during the week. And when we came to Sunday, it was showtime. And when we always said, we had that little mantra, there is no tomorrow. When it's Game 7, there is no tomorrow. You have to win today.
Yeah, there's just a long off season of regret if you don't win, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So when it all comes down to a big game and you're in this kind of situation, listen, it didn't happen often with the Cowboys, but when it did, if one of those big three were struggling, if someone was going through a rough patch, how did they handle it collectively?
Well,
okay, so all the focus is on the big three, but then, you know, you called yourself a role player on those Super Bowl winning teams. We have a whole bunch of other guys on the floor. You know, Ray Allen's not hitting threes, right? They're not shooting from the outside. Miller. So what mindset did you have as outside of the big three? But, you know, everybody's got a job to do in these huge games.
Well, Hannah,
actually, that sounds like a great mindset. You know, you mentioned the Buffalo Bills, so just wanted to ask you because we had this news about Jim Kelly. He's such a strong person, a person that you know some,
played
you know,
a lot
from
of
your
big
years in the
games
league, but I know you're thinking about him as well.
I am. I think
champion and NFL analyst Darren Woodson. Why? How do we get from there to here? Well, any excuse to have Woodrow on is great. And also, you played with a big three. So you've seen this dynamic up close and personal. You won 3 Super Bowls with the trio there in Dallas, Troy Aikman, Emmitt Smith, and Michael Irvin. When one of them was struggling or a couple struggling, there's this whole notion tonight of should LeBron James try to win? Wait, dude. We can't roll this back, but America. I said that you were a leader of a 3-time Super Bowl winning defense, and you said, no, I'm a role player.
I was.
So those are your roles.
But I'm saying I was a role player, but I never looked at myself as that role player. I looked at myself as...
Kelly has announced that he has cancer of the jawbone, and the great thing is the doctors say the prognosis is good, but nonetheless, he's going to have surgery here in a few days. He's a strong person and a guy that you got to know. More from Darren Woodson on NFL 32 at 5 Eastern on ESPN2.